Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, or otherwise strange content. Today I wanted to talk about a classic from everybody's childhood, and that's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because I forgot how terrifying it is. This is the original version of the movie. It came out in 1971, starred Gene Wilder, who was absolutely amazing. Everybody knows this movie, so I'm just gonna get into it. Also, by the way, I forgot how much the opening credits sequence looks like How It's Made. Did anybody watch How It's Made when they were kids? Or now. You might watch it now. So we start out with all these kids running to the candy store after school. Much like kids in the 80s ran to the arcade, and kids now run home to watch TikTok. What do kids do now? I don't know. I'm old.
Who can take a sunrise?
We get the iconic song, The Candyman. A lot of the songs from this movie are pretty iconic.
Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good.
The candy store clerk is telling the kids about the Candyman.
'Cause the Candyman thinks it should.
And it's very fun and nostalgic, but also at some point you have to be like, it's a candy bar, dude. Come on. I have already rubbed makeup into my eye, and we are not 5 minutes in. It's way too early in the morning. Anyway. And then we see poor Charlie, who's just looking sad into the window because his family is broke and he doesn't get to go to the candy store after school. It's very sad. He's working his paper route. He's a good little dude. And then he just stops and stares in at the Wonka factory.
Up the airy mountain, down the rushing glen.
What?
We dare not go a-hunting, for fear of little men.
Alright, that makes this sound like a horror movie is about to start. Which it kind of is, but, you know, we'll get there. At home, Charlie lives with his 4 grandparents, and in the book and the remake version, the Tim Burton version, both of his parents live with him. But in this version, his mom was a single mom.
As soon as I get my strength back, I'm going to get out of this bed and help him.
Grandpa Joe really does have the energy when it comes to being able to work again that, like, somebody does when they say, like, oh, I'll start dieting on Monday. Like, come on.
Is this your supper, Grandpa?
Ooh.
I'm fed up with cabbage water.
So the Bucket family's so broke, they're eating cabbage water every night, and Charlie is all proud of himself because he brings home bread, and it's, like, such a huge deal.
Charlie, where'd you get that?
This movie is so dystopian.
When a loaf of bread looks like a banquet, I've no right buying tobacco.
Right there is the one and only contribution you will see Grandpa Joe make to the family in this entire movie. That night, Grandpa Joe tells Charlie the story of how Wonka closed down the factory because people were all trying to steal his secret recipes, and then one day, without warning, he just started everything back up again, and Wonka is like God in this universe. Everything seems to start and stop and revolve around the Wonka factory. It's strange. The next day at school, this is going on.
If you knew and I didn't know, then you'd be teaching me instead of me teaching you. And for a student to teach his teacher, it's presumptuous and rude.
Okay, yeah, sure. And out in the hallway, there's, like, turmoil. There's kids running around, and one kid runs in, and he's like, Wonka's giving away golden tickets.
It's on the radio and he's giving truckloads of chocolate away.
Class dismissed!
He dismisses class temporarily because of this.
Where's he hidden the tickets?
Inside 5 Wonka bars. You gotta buy Wonka bars to find them.
So yeah, you all know how this works. Wonka's giving away 5 golden tickets. They're hidden inside chocolate bars, and whoever finds them gets to go to his factory. Good marketing scheme, honestly. Isn't Mr. Beast doing something just like that? He's basically the real-life Wonka now. Has that happened yet? Is that still going on?
And to the 5 people who find them will come the most fabulous prize one could wish for. A lifetime supply of chocolate.
Is that the best prize you could wish for? I love chocolate. But, like, there's no cash prize? It's just chocolate? I mean, that would be pretty sweet, but, you know.
Do you think I've got a chance to find one?
1. I'm counting on you to find all 5.
Grandpa Joe is putting unhealthy expectations on his grandchild. So the whole world's going crazy over these Wonka bars, and I completely forgot that we get these random little vignettes, I guess you could say, about random people that have no bearing on the story. It's just to show, like, how crazy everybody's going over Wonka bars.
But I dreamed the Archangel appeared and whispered into my ear and told me where to find a golden Wonka ticket. I mean, you said just now...
Shut up, Hofstadter, and tell me where the ticket is.
Pretty soon the first ticket is found. It is by the character Augustus Gloop, who is from Germany, and when we see him and his family, it is very stereotypically German.
Proud VR.
I love the choice to shoot it so that it looks like the antlers are coming out of this guy's head. Bless.
I just knew Augustus would find a golden ticket. Eating is his hobby, you know.
Yeah, that's how Germany works, right? You guys just all eat bratwurst all the time, and you wear the lederhosen. It's very authentic, I'm sure. Anyway, now we see that it's Charlie's birthday.
It is a Wonka.
He gets a packet of Wonka cookies that they call a Wonka bar, even though it is not a candy bar, and it bothers me an unreasonable amount. There's no ticket in it. It would be very unsuspenseful if he got the ticket now.
I wanted to be the first to find a golden ticket, Daddy.
Meanwhile, a British business tycoon is forcing his workers to unwrap thousands of Wonka bars so that his kid can get a ticket.
What's the matter with those twats down there?
For 5 days now, the entire flipping factory's been on the job.
Oh, the amount of chocolate that they're wasting.
The first girl that finds a golden ticket gets a £1 bonus in a pay packet.
I feel like it would be better for them to just take the ticket and run, right? Right? Just a £1 bonus to give somebody else the chance of a lifetime? Raw deal.
They're not even trying. They don't want to find it. They're jealous of me.
Yeah, Veruca's the worst.
I got it, Mr. Solid!
But alas, someone finds her a ticket.
I found the golden tickets!
You found nothing. This is also a good time to mention that every time a kid finds a ticket, or finds a ticket, this dude shows up in a really creepy manner and starts, I don't know, talking to them. We don't know what he's saying.
Whatever corner of the globe we are in, whichever of the 5 continents we're on.
But sir, there are 7 continents. Sir.
This machine will tell us the precise location of the 3 remaining golden tickets.
Ooh, fancy technology.
I am now telling the computer that if it will tell me the correct answer, I will gladly share with it the grand prize. What would a computer do with a lifetime supply of chocolate?
That computer might be the smartest character in this whole movie.
I am now telling the computer exactly what he can do with a lifetime supply of chocolate.
God damn it. The third person to find the golden ticket is Violet Beauregard, whose dad is a used car salesman and a politician. Do with that what you will.
Well, I'm a gum chewer normally, but when I heard about these ticket things of Wonka's, I laid off the gum and switched to candy bars instead.
I don't like gum. Like, when I was that girl's age, I wasn't really allowed to chew gum, but, like, even now, it loses its flavor really quickly. Charlie goes and sees his mom at her job where she's washing clothes, and he's all sad that he probably will never get a ticket.
Well, in case you're wondering if it'll be me, it won't be.
We all know how it works out, but empathize with him in this moment.
Cheer up, Charlie.
She sends him home, and then she sings this song, which my mother hates this song. I don't know if this is like a universal thing. My mother has a visceral reaction when she hears this song. It is hilarious.
Just be glad you're you.
If you're just sitting there and you go, cheer up, Charlie, she'll get pissed. Fourth kid to find a ticket is Mike TV. He's obsessed with TV. But that's really all you can say about that character.
I serve all his TV dinners right here. He's never even been to the table.
An American child, if I've ever seen one.
Wait till I get a real one. Colt 45. Pop won't let me have one yet, will you, Pop?
Not till you're 12, son.
Not until he's 12. That's some good parenting, Pop.
We must remember there are many more important things. Offhand, I can't think of what they are, but I'm sure there must be something.
That's some good-ass journaling on your end, dude. Now Grandpa Joe has used his tobacco money to buy a Wonka bar for Charlie so that he can get a second chance. He doesn't find it. We'll skip past that part.
Lot 403.
In this little side quest, they're auctioning off a case of Wonka bars, and apparently the Queen buys it.
Your Majesty.
I hope the Queen's okay, by the way. Like, currently, right now. I hope the Queen gets better soon.
They kidnapped my husband 12 hours ago. When are we going to hear from them? What do they want?
This lady's husband is being held for ransom, and the ransomers... that's not a word. The people that kidnapped him. The kidnappers. There you go. They want her Wonka bars, and she doesn't know what to do.
It's your husband's life or your case of Wonka bars.
How long will they give me to think it over?
Being married must be great. And then they hear on the news that the 5th ticket has been found, and everybody's depressed. Especially Charlie. Poor kid.
Tests we take each Friday on what we learned during the week will now take place on Monday before we've learned it.
The next day, the teacher's teaching them percentages with Wonka bars.
200 is twice 100.
Not 200, just 2.
Bless him.
Well, I can't figure out just 2.
Yes, you can. You're a teacher.
Supposing there were 1,000 Wonka bars in the world.
0.2%, right? Because 100 is 10%. 10 would be 1%. 2 is 0.2%. Or 1/5 of a percent. Yeah, I was right. I just checked my math because I wasn't sure all of a sudden. I didn't want to have one of those moments where I say something very confidently and everybody in the comments corrects me and then I feel like an idiot for the rest of my life. Then Charlie's walking home. He finds a coin in a sewer, so he goes and he buys candy. He uses the money to buy a 3rd and 4th Wonka bar, and when he opens the 4th one, congrats, he's got a Wonka ticket. A golden ticket. A golden Wonka ticket.
The kids found the last golden ticket!
He gets mobbed by a bunch of grown-ass adults and he runs home. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I forgot to say, the ticket that was supposedly the last ticket found was a fraud. So, you know, now he has the real one. And then that guy that's been, like, creepily talking to all of the kids that win tickets, he, like, pops out from a shadow, and it's just like, hey, you give me Wonka's secret recipe, I'll give you money.
So all I want you to do is to get hold of just one everlasting gobstopper and bring it to me. The reward will be 10,000 of these.
He's holding money in his hand when he says 10,000 of these, but wouldn't it be funny if he was just like 10,000 of these, and it was just like cats or something? Bicycle pumps.
Oh, look, I've got it! The 5th golden ticket is mine!
You're pulling our legs, Charlie.
He runs home to tell his family. They don't believe him, I think because earlier in the movie, he did this.
I got it!
Where?
Let's see! Told you, didn't I?
He pulled the "it's just a prank, bro," but this time he actually has the ticket.
You may bring with you one member of your own family, but no one else.
And all of a sudden, now that Grandpa knows that he needs an adult to take him to the Wonka factory, I almost said theme park. Wonka factory.
I wish you could go.
Look at me.
All of a sudden, magically, hey, I can walk now.
A bit of good luck for me.
You lying bastard.
'Cause I've got a golden ticket.
You don't have a ticket. Charlie has a ticket. You narcissistic old man.
'Cause I've got a golden ticket. It's ours, Charlie.
Grandpa Joe really is. I know I'm not alone in thinking this. Grandpa Joe is the most underutilized villain I have ever seen in movies. We don't talk about it enough.
It says the 1st of October, that's tomorrow.
And they apparently found the ticket just in time because the next day is Wonka Day, baby. So now all the kids are standing outside the factory. There's news reporters, there's crowds. And it's finally right here at like the 3rd way mark through the movie that we see Gene Wilder for the first time, which is to say this is when the movie starts getting good. He just has so many opportunities for his like signature slapstick comedy in this movie, and I love it so much. I love Gene Wilder.
My dear Veruca, what a pleasure. And how pretty you look in that lovely mink coat.
I've got 3 others at home.
Yay! Animal cruelty for the win! So they go into the factory. Is Wonka's hat supposed to be made of chocolate in this version, or does it just look like it's made of chocolate? And it's like leather.
But hurry, please. We have so much time and so little to see. Wait a minute. Strike that. Reverse it. Thank you.
There are several quotes in this movie that me and my family quote constantly. That's one of them.
Flood's far frost of frippery.
Accident? What kind of accident?
He makes all the kids sign like an NDA or a release form.
Violet, baby, don't you sign anything there. What's this all about? Standard form of contract.
I can't remember. Is that something that's ever factored into all of those like videos that like Legal and stuff did about the crimes of Willy Wonka? I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. Those are good videos.
Oh, wait a minute. What's all that small print there at the bottom? Oh, if you have any problems, dial information. Thank you for calling.
It's like being an extra and being handed an NDA at like 4:30 in the morning and just signing it with like one eye closed.
Saw this in a movie once. Guy signed his wife's insurance policy. Then he bumped her off.
Clever.
The solemn look on his face when he says that. They should have listened to their parents, though. This is some shady bullshit, Willy Wonka. Don't sign that, kids.
Hey, there is no other door. There's no way out.
They go down this very tiny hallway.
What is this, Wonka? Some kind of fun house?
Why, having fun?
That's my personal favorite.
Hey, the room is getting smaller. No, it's not. He's getting bigger.
No, dumbass. That's not possible. The door's small.
This is a musical lock.
I want a musical lock.
The chocolate room.
The door is very big on the other side. There's no point in sitting here trying to make sense of the Wonka factory. It's just not possible.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
I love this song. And nowadays it just makes me think of Thor Ragnarok, which is a bonus.
There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there you'll be free if you truly wish to be.
It's so calming. It's like a little lullaby. I love when he bites the cup. It's like cookie shots. Have you ever made cookie shots? You like put cookie dough in a little like cupcake tin, and then you harden chocolate on the bottom, and then you can like put shots of stuff in it and drink it out and then eat the cookie. I only put milk in it because you're supposed to put Baileys with the milk, and I don't like Baileys. Anyway, off topic.
Grandpa, look over there across the river. They're little men.
Now we see the Oompa Loompas for the first time.
Well, they can't be real people.
Rude.
I said, come and live with me in peace and safety.
So this is supposed to be seen as like an altruistic thing on Wonka's part, but really all he did was just kidnap this entire group of people and then made them work for free in his factory. Extremely sus, Willy Wonka.
I want you to get me an Oompa Loompa right away.
All right, Veruca, all right.
You can't own a person, Veruca. That's fucked up.
Please, I beg you, Augustus!
And then Augustus falls into the chocolate river.
Don't do that. My chocolate must never be touched by human hands.
Again, the Oompa Loompas definitely count as human hands. What the fuck, guys? Justice for the Oompa Loompas.
He's blocking all the chocolate.
Augustus gets stuck in the pipe.
Don't just stand there. Do something.
Help. Police. Murder.
Wonka's a big mood. Does anybody remember, has anybody seen the Corridor Crew video where they make Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory into a horror movie and they like re-edit this scene to be all gory? It's hilarious.
The suspense is terrible.
He's gonna go this time.
I hope it'll last.
So he gets sucked all the way up the pipe to God knows where, and his mom gets taken by an Oompa Loompa to go find him, one kid down. We get the first Oompa Loompa song.
What do you get when you guzzle down sweets?
Eating as much as an elephant eats.
They're very victim blamey, the Oompa Loompas. Yeah, the kid eats a little bit of candy. He doesn't deserve to be killed, I don't think.
Doo-ba-dee-doo.
Bye, Oompa Loompas. I mean, they'll be back.
All aboard, everybody.
There's one there. Oh, and then we get the chocolate riverboat scene. This scene terrified me as a kid. I think it terrified most kids. I'm gonna give a, like, flash warning here. Just because there's, like, semi-stroby lights, and I'm not even generally sensitive to that thing, but it just makes me nauseous watching it.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Same, lady.
There's no earthly way of knowing
He's singing.
which direction we are going.
God, it's a 1970s psychedelic night terror. I hate it. There's like creepy bug imagery and he's yelling at us. It's terrifying. And then all of a sudden, just over.
Vanilla cream?
Hair cream.
We go to the secret invention room now.
Any good?
Oh! Kid got murked. By what, gum?
That's exploding candy for your enemies.
Is Willy Wonka trying to commit candy terrorism? Is that what's happening here?
What's that for?
Gives it a little kick.
We get some more Willy Wonka shenanigans, and then we get the vintage 2011 meme.
Can't you see? It makes everlasting gobstoppers.
Did you say everlasting gobstoppers?
And now we see everlasting gobstoppers. Remember the thing that Slugworth, the creepy guy, wanted them to steal for him?
I can only give them to you if you solemnly swear to keep them for yourselves and never show them to another living soul as long as you all shall live.
Oh, she lying.
Don't you know what this is?
By gum, it's gum.
Wrong.
Now we get to the part where he's like, hey, I have gum. That's a 3-course dinner.
Blueberry pie and cream. It's the most marvelous blueberry pie I've ever tasted.
And that girl takes it. What's her name? Violet. How'd I forget her name? Violet? She's turning violet. Violet?
Violet, you're turning violet, Violet!
And she starts to turn blue. I love how you can tell that they're just blasting her with a blue light. Her hair is glowing.
Always goes wrong when we come to the dessert.
He said always. This man's been running tests on the poor Oompa Loompas, hasn't he?
Gum chewing's fine when it's once in a while.
The Oompa Loompas come out and sing another song, and they roll her away.
I got a blueberry for a daughter.
It's such a funny soundbite, I don't know why. Also, props to all the Oompa Loompa actors.
They got a guy from Turkey, a guy from Malta, a guy from Germany, Spain, and France.
What do you remember? What do you see?
I remember the headaches, doing the cartwheels, the White Room. I remember the fun. I remember the camaraderie.
Also, every time we watch this movie, my mom brings up the fact that the kid that played Charlie went on to become a veterinarian when he grew up, and she loves that. I think that's awesome. This man only did one movie, starred in it as a child, and then was like, you know what? I'm gonna go save animal lives. King behavior.
Wait a minute. Must show you this. Lickable wallpaper.
They get some lickable wallpaper.
Lick a pineapple. It tastes like a pineapple.
Definitely more anxiety-inducing in COVID times. They go to this room where Wonka's making soda that makes you float.
Let's take a drink, Charlie. Nobody's watching.
And then Grandpa Joe, because Grandpa Joe is terrible, is like, hey, impressionable child that I'm responsible for, let's steal some.
I can't understand why!
I'm a great influence. And so they're floating around for a hot second, and then they realize that they cannot go back down to the ground.
Help! We're gonna get killed!
So they almost get chopped up in the fan at the top of the ceiling. And then Grandpa Joe makes this discovery.
Quick, Charlie! Burp! Burp! You gotta burp, Charlie. It's the only way.
Imagine reading that in the script and figuring out how to make that line work. This scene is so strange. They catch back up to the rest of the group, which, by the way, how did they not know they were missing? The group is pretty small now, and also, this doesn't happen in the remake, or in the book. I can't remember. I could be wrong about the book. I'm not gonna go on record about the book, but in the remake of the movie, they never steal the soda. So, like, in this version, it's weird, because, like, Charlie messes up like all the other kids, but he doesn't get punished for it, I guess because he's already Wonka's favorite. But anyway.
These are the geese that lay the golden eggs.
We've got gooses laying golden eggs.
The egg indicator can tell the difference between a good egg and a bad egg. A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men.
I love all of Gene Wilder's little Gene Wilder quotes throughout the whole movie.
Hey, Daddy, I want a golden goose.
Oh, Veruca. What an exhausting child.
I want the world. I want the whole world. I want to lock it all up in my pocket. It's my bar of chocolates.
I've always been extra impressed. Like, obviously, props to any child actor. They're all great. I've always been impressed with the girl who plays Veruca. I think there's a reason why she specifically is the only child that gets her own, like, solo song.
I want a party with roomfuls of laughter.
She performs her little heart out in this song.
And I don't want to share them.
My only complaint with this number is that the lip syncing doesn't match up right there, but that's not on her, that's on the editing. And directing, I guess.
Don't care how I want it now.
Oh yeah, and she steps on the egg-dicator. What is it called?
Egg to what?
The egg Decatur.
She steps on the thing and she goes down the chute.
She was a bad egg.
She was indeed a very bad egg.
Where's she gone?
Where all the other bad eggs go. Down the garbage chute.
Inside the... Hold on!
Her dad's having a meltdown. I think he knows his wife is gonna kill him.
Daddy's coming!
So they both go down the garbage chute. So 2 kids left.
If you are wise, you'll listen to me. Who do you blame when your kid is up?
It's so 70s. You gotta love it. I wonder how long the makeup process was for the Oompa Loompas. It was probably very extensive.
Stronger than lions!
They ride on this big thing, which covers them all in foam. Must have been fun to film. But then they get off good as new and very clean.
It's television.
It's Wonka.
I think everybody remembers this scene too. This is the scene where he's like, hey, I can transport candy bars through the TV, which always seemed like a bad business market for me. But anyway, he does that, and then Mike TV is like, cool, I like TV, and then he transports himself through the TV machine.
Stop, don't, come back.
Look at me, everybody. I'm the first person in the world to be sent by television.
And then he's an itty-bitty boy. Itty-bitty butler beard. Oh, God. Does anybody know what movie I'm talking about? If anybody knows what movie that is, God love you. That's gonna have to be a future video one day.
I feel fine. I'm famous. I'm a TV star.
So what can you do with a miniature child? Well, if you're Wonka, you put him in his mom's purse and you send them on their way.
What do you get from a glut of TV?
Oh, and then the Oompa Loompas have one last song.
Why don't you try simply reading a book?
This is the one where it's kind of boomer because they're just like, TV is bad. That was a running theme in like all of Roald Dahl's books, wasn't it? He always had a thing against TV. Trust me, Roald Dahl had a lot of worse takes than that, but I always found that very funny. But this is the last time we get to see the Oompa Loompas, so bye Oompa Loompas.
Oompa Loompa, Oompa-dee-doo.
And then Wonka assures Grandpa Joe and Charlie that all the kids will be fine, they won't die or anything.
When they leave here, they'll be completely restored to their normal, terrible old selves.
He says they'll be perfectly restored, which is definitely not what happens in the book or in the remake. And then he just kind of ditches them. He's just like, peace.
Mr. Wonka? I am extraordinarily busy, sir.
Why is everything cut in half? There's probably a reason. I'm too tired to figure it out right now.
You stole fizzy lifting drinks, so you get nothing!
I guess it does come back to bite him in the ass that they stole the soda this time. Bummer.
You're a cheat and a swindler. That's what you are.
He's a swindler. You stole his soda, Grandpa Joe. I'm seriously considering naming this video Grandpa Joe is a terrible human being, and if I don't do that, just know that I thought about doing that. But then bless Charlie, he gives him back his gobstopper and he's like, here, I'm not gonna sell out your secret recipe.
My boy.
You won!
And that changes Wonka's mind. Well, not changes his mind. This was the plan the entire time. It was like a test, and he passed.
Come in, Mr. Wilkinson. Charlie, meet Mr. Wilkinson.
See, that guy isn't actually his rival. He works for him. He wanted to make sure nobody was going to sell out his secrets. Because I think we all know, he's not just going to give him chocolate for life, he's going to give him the whole ass factory.
Step in, Charlie. Grandpa Joe, sir.
Isn't it weird that no theme park rides have ever been made based on Willy Wonka? Between, like, the chocolate river ride and then the glass elevator, you could really make a couple of cool rides for sure. The line would be fun. It'd be all through the Wonka factory. Get in touch with me, Universal Studios.
This is the Great Glass Wonkavator.
So they get in the flying elevator and they bust through the ceiling.
How did you like the chocolate factory, Charlie? Because I'm giving it to you.
And he's like, yay, you get the factory.
And me? Absolutely.
What happens to the
The
rest
whole
of the
family.
And then Charlie and his family don't have to eat gross cabbage water forever, thank God. And it's a happy ending for everybody.
Don't forget what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he always wanted.
What happened?
He lived happily ever after.
Gene Wilder had such pretty eyes. Off topic, but he did, didn't he? And that's the end. So that was the classic Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from 1971. I haven't seen this movie in forever, but I've been wanting to talk about it forever. And it's such a classic. You know, it's very campy, it's very 70s, but it's just so magical, you know? And of course, they did the famous or infamous Tim Burton remake. Gene Wilder himself did not like that remake. I think his actual quote was something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing, of like, I really like Johnny Depp, but I do not like Tim Burton. Which, knowing what we know now about both of those people, it seems like Gene Wilder was a very perceptive human. But, you know, he was just kind of like, you know, why is there a remake? There's no need for this remake. And he was pretty much 100% right on that fact. We do not need to keep rebooting everything, you guys. This movie's a classic. I love it. I grew up very much with both versions, though. The Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And, you know, everybody hates that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake. Still to this day, I see so much hate online for it, but I kind of have to wonder, you know? Is it really that bad?